So let us start now. Welcome everybody for today's session. सबका स्वागत है आज की शाम के इस सेशन में जो कि है थर्ड वेव एंड किड्स। काफी दिनों से ये जो थर्ड वेव को लेके काफी लोगों में जो काफी लोगों के दिल में जो सवाल आता था, काफी लोग पूछ रहे थे कि ये थर्ड वेव जो बच्चों के लिए बहुत थोड़ी से हानिकारक होने वाली है या फिर क्या होने वाला है, सच में ऐसे है या नहीं है। ऐसे काफी सारी चीजें हैं जो न्यूज के थ्रू और बाकी सारे सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू लोगों तक पहुंच रही है और सभी लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि फैक्ट्स क्या है। और इसीलिए आज हमारे साथ हमारा जो आज का जो सेशन है जो कि थर्ड वेव एंड किड्स जो सेशन हमारा करने वाले हैं, इसके हमारे जो एस्टीम स्पीकर है डॉक्टर संदीप गर्ग, उनके ऊपर भी ये है हमारे स्पीकर डॉक्टर संदीप गर्ग जी। और मैं आपको बता दूं कि हमारे जो डॉक्टर संदीप गर्ग है मैं सबसे कहना चाहूंगा कि आपका जितना भी ये है प्लीज म्यूट कीजिएगा ताकि हमारा जो सेशन है वो बिना किसी रुकावट के, बिना किसी डिस्टरबेंस के अच्छी तरह से हो जाए। आज के हमारे जो मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है ना सबको?
यस
यस यस। आज के हमारे जो सेशन है, सेशन के जो स्पीकर है डॉक्टर संदीप गर्ग, इनके बारे में मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि मुझे डॉक्टर संदीप गर्ग है, उन्होंने वो एक एमडी डॉक्टर है, उन्होंने अपनी जो फेलोशिप है पीडियाट्रिक कार्डियोलॉजी में वो कोकिलाबेन हॉस्पिटल से की हुई है। और साथ ही में उन्होंने जो अपनी जो पढ़ाई है वो वन ऑफ द टॉप इंस्टीट्यूट्स केम हॉस्पिटल, वाडिया चिल्ड्रंस हॉस्पिटल, इस तरह के टॉप हॉस्पिटल से उन्होंने अपनी पढ़ाई की है और कई सालों से हमारे इस हॉस्पिटल में, भक्तिवेदांत हॉस्पिटल में अपनी सेवा प्रदान कर रहे हैं। और इनके बारे में बताना चाहूँगा कि मैं इनसे जितने बार इंटरेक्ट किया हूँ, काफ़ी जिस तरह से वो हर एक चीज़ करते हैं काफ़ी पैशनेट है। और इनका जो पैशन है इस तरह के सेशंस लेना, पेरेंटिंग सेमिनार्स लेना और पेरेंट्स को गाइड करना कि किस तरह से जो मॉडर्न पेरेंटिंग के प्रॉब्लम्स है वो किस तरह से सुलझा सकते हैं, तो ये इनका पैशन है। और मैं कहूँगा कि काफ़ी माहिर डॉक्टर है इस बारे में। सो आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट विद द सेशन नाउ। I will now just ask Dr. Sandeep Garg कि आप स्टार्ट कीजिए ये सेशन।
थैंक यू वेरी मच यतीन प्रभु। तो मैं कंसल्टेंट पीडियाट्रिशियन हूँ भक्तिवेदांत में, एंड आई एम सीइंग मैं रेगुलरली ये प्रॉब्लम्स देखता हूँ, तो दैट्स व्हाई आई वांट टू शेयर विथ यू ऑल द राइट नॉलेज, बिकॉज मार्केट में बहुत र्यूमर्स है और पीपल आर कंफ्यूज, पेरेंट्स आर कंफ्यूज, बच्चों को बाहर भेजें ना भेजें, कितना डरें, कितना डरना सही है। सो let's get into today's topic, third wave and kids, the fears, facts, and the practical solutions. So I would share my slide. Share screen. ओके, तो हर पेरेंट को आज के दिन में सबसे बड़ा सवाल है कि हाउ बैड इज द थर्ड वेव फॉर किड्स? दिस इज द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन एवरीवन इज आस्किंग, एंड in general the people say that the first wave was for the old people, the second wave came and which affected the young people, 30s and 40s. So now only remaining population is the kids. That's why the third wave is meant for kids, and it is going to affect the kids. The government is also preparing for third wave. They have set up the NICU, PICU to deal with the pediatric population, and we are also training them, the nurses and everyone. probably government has burnt their hands in the second wave. Their inadequacy of preparation was exposed. So they are taking extra precautions for the third wave. So now there was a data that in the first wave, among total infected people, 2 to 4% were the kids. In the second wave, it was 4 to 6%. And in third wave, it is projected to be 12 to 15% of the population is going to be the pediatric population, that is below 18 year of the age. So now, I don't know whether you are aware or not. In many countries of the world, the third wave and fourth wave has already occurred. Europe and US, वहाँ पे third wave, fourth wave हो चुका है, आके चला जा चुका है. If you see, if you talk, like I have talked to my people in US and Europe, third wave came, when it went away, there was no exclusive fear or concern about the children getting affected there. If you search in the internet, you will find ये सब का सब माजरा सिर्फ और सिर्फ इंडियन न्यूज चैनल्स का है और किसी का नहीं है. खाली इंडियन न्यूज चैनल्स में ही मैक्सिमम थर्ड वेव बच्चों को अफेक्ट करने वाली है, ये न्यूज चल रही है, और कहीं पे डेटा ऐसा नहीं. अभी साइंटिफिक बात करें हम लोग कि बच्चे ज्यादा सेंसिटिव है या नहीं, तो आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर कि अभी एम्स ने, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने डेटा निकाला है. वो ये बोलता है कि फर्स्ट वेव सेकेंड वेव में एडल्ट्स को अफेक्ट हुआ है और उनमें एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूस हुई है इन्फेक्शन के बाद में. तो उन्होंने बच्चों में भी एंटीबॉडी का लेवल चेक किया कि 100 में से कितने बच्चों में एंटीबॉडी लेवल आया है. सो दे हैव फाउंड दैट 50% of the kids in Mumbai have the antibody against coronavirus. Now, this means that बड़ों के साथ साथ the kids are also being infected from beginning. This is a myth कि ये बीमारी बच्चों को नहीं होती. इन्फेक्शन तो बच्चों में भी होता है, लेकिन बीमारी बच्चों में नहीं होती है. या बीमारी होती है तो बहुत ही मामूली होती है, बहुत बड़ी नहीं होती. तो बच्चे भी साथ साथ में इन्फेक्ट होते आए हैं. हाँ, बच्चों में टेस्ट करना मुश्किल होता है, बच्चों में टेस्ट कोई करता नहीं है, या टेस्ट करते हैं तो वो फॉल्स नेगेटिव होता है, बिकॉज वो बराबर से सैंपल कलेक्ट होता नहीं है. और बच्चे ज्यादा बीमार नहीं पड़ते हैं, इसलिए ज्यादा लाइमलाइट में नहीं आते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट परसेंटेज आर लेस, बट द सीरो सर्वे confirms 50% of the Mumbai kids are already having antibody. Now this figure is equal in the adults also. That means कि बच्चे और बूढ़े सबको ये इन्फेक्शन शुरू से होता आ रहा है, और ये थर्ड वेव में कोई बच्चों को अलग से कोई खास रिस्क नहीं है. ओके, so this is the one photo I shared you, age wise distribution, कि भाई फर्स्ट वेव और सेकेंड वेव में 1 से 10 साल के कितने बच्चे थे, 11 से 20 साल के कितने बच्चे थे. So it is same.
Your presentation is not clear, Prabhuji. Can you just check with your presentation? I mean, can only see the first slide.
Abhi?
No. Just stop sharing and share again.
Okay. अभी आया क्या?
Yeah, now it's good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So you can see the various data here that एक first wave, second wave में number of kids being infected is same percentage. It is not increased. What has increased is the total number of kids, because total number of population infected is more in second wave compared to first wave, but the percentage is same. 3% in the first wave, 3% in second wave, 8% in first wave, 8% in the second wave. So थर्ड वेव इज गोइंग टू कम, वो आने वाली है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि वो बच्चों को ज्यादा अफेक्ट करने वाली है. दैट इज रॉन्ग. दिस इज द रूमर विच इज स्प्रेड बाय द इंडियन न्यूज मीडिया चैनल्स. So the key message here is that children are as susceptible as adults and older individuals to develop infection, but not severe disease, जो कि adults में होती है. And it is highly unlikely that third wave will predominantly or exclusively affect children. Okay, so message ये है कि डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये एक हवा है जो इंडियन मीडिया ने फैलाई है और इसके ऊपर इनफ स्टेटमेंट्स आ चुके हैं कि डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, नाउ स्टिल व्हाटएवर रिस्क आवर किड्स हैव, द स्मॉल रिस्क आल्सो, पर उसके लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए हम उसकी बात करेंगे अभी. तो अगला सवाल पेरेंट्स पूछते हैं कि भाई व्हाट कैन हैपन टू आवर किड्स. हमारे बच्चों को मान लो कोरोना इन्फेक्शन हो गया तो क्या हो सकता है, क्योंकि एक बार जानकारी रहेगी क्या क्या हो सकता है तो उस हिसाब से हम प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं. तो आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर यू द डेटा ऑफ यूनिसेफ. ओके, so what does this data says that यदि टोटल 100 लोग इन्फेक्ट होते हैं तो एडल्ट्स में 100 में से 80 लोग या तो एसिम्टोमेटिक या माइल्डली सिम्टोमेटिक होंगे जिनको कुछ खास केयर की जरूरत नहीं है. 15 लोग होंगे जिनको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन या ऑक्सीजन ये लगेगा और 5 लोग होंगे जिनको आईसीयू लगेगा. हाँ, ये सेम फिगर बच्चों के अंदर अलग है. बच्चों के अंदर 96% ऑफ बच्चे एसिम्टोमेटिक या माइल्डली सिम्टोमेटिक होंगे और 96 में से 60 बच्चे जो हैं जिनको तो एसिम्टोमेटिक होगा, मतलब कि उनको समझेगा ही नहीं कि उनको कोरोना होके गया. उनके पेरेंट्स को समझेगा नहीं कि कोरोना होके गया. और बाकी जो बचे हैं 36% उनको माइल्ड सिम्टम्स होंगे, सर्दी, खांसी, बुखार, और उसके लिए कुछ अलग से करने की जरूरत नहीं है, घर पे ही आप इसका इलाज कर सकते हैं. बच्चों में खाली 3 से 4% बच्चे होंगे जिनको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन की जरूरत पड़ेगी और 1% से भी कम ऐसे बच्चे रहेंगे जिनको आईसीयू का गरज पड़ेगा. दे विल रिक्वायर आईसीयू, लेस देन 1% किड्स. तो दिस डेटा शोज कि बच्चों के अंदर ये बीमारी एडल्ट के मुकाबले कई गुना कम सीवियर है और चिल्ड्रन आर सेफ. So the first point was that third wave is not going to affect exclusively or predominantly kids. Now, even if it affects normally, the risk of getting severe or moderate infection is less in kids. Okay. So now, if we consider the maximum population, so I told you, out of 100, 60 will not have any symptom. They will be asymptomatic. 36 will have mild symptom. So we call it mild COVID. ओके, सो नाउ माइल्ड कोविड के बच्चे जो रहेंगे उनका घर पे ही केयर करना है. आई विल टेल यू इन वन फ्यू वर्ड्स कि उनको सर्दी, हल्की खांसी, फीवर, सोर थ्रोट, बॉडी एक, लूज मोशन, वॉमिटिंग, पेन इन एब्डोमेन, ये सिम्टम्स आ सकते हैं. नाउ प्रीवियसली पीपल यूज्ड टू से दैट ओनली रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्टम्स, बट वी हैव सीन द किड्स जिनको लूज मोशन है, वॉमिटिंग है और कोविड पॉजिटिव है. तो लूज मोशन वॉमिटिंग करके भी कोविड आ सकता है. ओके, now in these mild COVID there is no need for any investigations, no antibiotic. खाली घर पे isolate कीजिए and manage कीजिए. And what treatment to give? Symptomatic treatment. That means if they have fever, give medicine for fever. If they have loose motion, give medicine for loose motion. That is something fever के लिए paracetamol. Cold cough है तो cold cough के लिए we give something syrup, CPM, chlorpheniramine maleate, or Mextra, something like that. And supplement like zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D. These are generally recommended to protect from the severe COVID. So that should be given to the kids if they have any symptoms. So generally I write something called zinc COVID CL. Adults may something tablet Jack D. These are the common brands which are there and we prescribe them, and they contains everything which is required to protect from the nutrition point of view. Now, what to monitor? Like you monitor temperature, you monitor the breathing rate. If you have the pulse oximeter, then check the pulse oximeter and saturation level. These three things you monitor, that is like 2 to 3 times a day. The most important is temperature and breathing rate. In next slide, I will tell you that how to check whether breathing rate is high or it is normal. Okay. And when to test for COVID. Okay. So we will do RT-PCR only if fever is more than 3 days or if child is sick. Then we do the RT-PCR. Otherwise, we don't need to test also for RT-PCR. Now, the important part is key. Chalo, sir, we understood about the mild COVID. Now we talk about the moderate and severe COVID, which require hospitalization. Okay, how to identify them from the parents' point of view? So the moderate disease and severe disease, next two categories. If child is breathing fast, that is, if less than 2-month child breathing more than 60 per minute. Now the 2-month to 12-month more than 50 per minute. More than 1 to 5 year of age, and this is more than 40 per minute. This is wrong here, more than 40 per minute. And more than 5 year of age, more than 30 per minute. आप 1 मिनट घड़ी में कैलकुलेट करके उनका चेस्ट कितनी बार ऊपर नीचे हुआ है वो देखेंगे, तो इससे आपको ब्रीदिंग रेट समझेगा. And if the breathing rate is more than what I have given here, 60, 50, 40 and 30 for different age group, then consider that child is breathing fast, and in that case we approach the hospital for a treatment. Okay, now the saturation level, if it is around 94, it's okay. Below 94, we have to go to the hospital. Now, when do we call severe disease? So, although you all parents may not know the varieties of severe disease, because once you have the moderate disease, you go to hospital and doctors take care further. But just for the information part, because you may have some neighbors with you, you may have some maid servant with you, they may not be aware about the how to pick up the disease and approach the doctor or hospital. You should have some knowledge about severe disease. So this COVID comes in two forms in the severe disease. That is, there can be a pneumonia in which the children have breathing difficulty or fast breathing, or they can have something called MIS-C. Now, I am very, very sure all the educated parents now have some knowledge about the word MIS-C. If you don't have, it's okay. I will tell you the next 2-3 minutes. The MIS-C is something called multi-system inflammatory syndrome. Now, this is something a new disease have come in the market. That pneumonia happens when COVID infection happens. But now this MIS-C, this happens 1 to 1.5 months after the COVID infection. So typical scene I have seen that घर में सर्दी in the family people had cough cold fever. Child, although living with them, did not have any symptom. After 1 and 1.5 months of that episode, child started the symptoms. So this is a post-COVID complications, not the COVID infection complication, the MIS-C. So what can happen? The child starts fever, the rash on the body, cough and breathing difficulty, the red eyes. So all these symptoms occur in the MIS-C. Okay, and the rash, you can see the rash here in this picture. This typical kind of rash, the whole red rash on the body, on the hands, the red eyes. So if someone sees this kind of rash and fever, know it to be MIS-C. Now it is a very, very rare thing. In Bhaktivedanta Hospital, I have seen the 15 cases of MIS-C in last 1.5 years. And we have seen 10 cases of COVID pneumonia requiring hospitalization for oxygen and the remdesivir. So you can understand that this pneumonia, this MIS-C, these are the rare things. Pneumonia, they have the breathing difficulty. The MIS-C, they have this typical kind of rash and fever. If any of these symptoms are there, you must go to hospital immediately because MIS-C affects the heart of the patient. Okay, so now we have understood how the mild COVID comes, moderate and severe COVID comes. And we understood that mild COVID do not require any blood investigation, any antibiotic. They just require home isolation and the symptomatic treatment. Now we talk about that many parents have many questions about the बच्चों में कोरोना के बारे में. So we'll talk the few common questions. If something is remaining, we will talk on question answer session at the end. So सबसे पहले people ask you how to know that my child is having fever and that fever is because of COVID. So there is no way to just see the patient and tell that child is having fever because of COVID unless we test. Okay. So COVID fever with cough cold will come similar to the flu or any other viral symptom. By knowing symptoms, we cannot distinguish that this is because of COVID or non-COVID. The next question comes, sir, when to do the test for COVID? See, now the weather is changing and many kids are getting cough, cold and fever. Many kids are getting loose motion and vomiting. Should we consider every child having symptoms for COVID test? This is a big question. Because otherwise, how will we protect our other family members? So generally it is said if someone is having fever for more than 3 days or other family members are affected, then or if child is having unusual symptoms or child is sick, then we should do the COVID test. Now, if the family members are having COVID infection, child is being exposed to the family members and child is asymptomatic, doesn't have any symptoms, we can still hold on the COVID testing in the child. If child develops symptoms, then we can do the test. If child doesn't develop symptoms, then we just do precautionary or preventive care. Okay. So I told you 3 things when to do test. If there is more than 3 days of fever, or if the family member is affected and child is also symptomatic, second thing, and if child is having the sickness, then we do the test for COVID. Next question comes, sir, how can we prevent COVID in a child? Okay, so everyone has a number of opinions. Any parent will tell you, do this, sanitize that, don't allow this, don't allow that. But I would tell you the simplified version, that these 3 things are the most important thing. And that is the mask, the distance between the people, that is 6 feet or 2 meters, and regular hand washing or hand sanitization. Okay, so this is the mask is called respiratory hygiene. That means you will use mask. If you don't have mask and if you feel like sneezing or coughing, you will use the elbow to sneeze and cough. The second thing is the hand sanitization, that is through water. If water is not available, then sanitizer. Water is better than sanitizer. And third thing is that the distancing. Now we want to do social distancing, that is physical distancing. That is like if you're going in the crowd, please try to maintain the distance between 6 meters between people. Okay, so these are the 3 basic preventive steps. You follow this thing and your child is safe. Now, how to manage home isolation? Now, this is a big question. Like something, if mother is positive, child is negative or asymptomatic, then what to do? We feel like separating child to the mother. Okay, or if child is positive, child is small, and mother is negative, father is negative, then what to do? This is a big question for all the parents. So the recommended answer for these questions is that if child is positive, parents are negative. Child cannot be separated from parents. Child has to stay with parents. Now parents need to wear the mask. Parents need to maintain distance whenever possible. Parents need to wash their hands and use sanitizer frequently. If parents are positive, child is negative, still child will remain with the parents. We cannot isolate, because separating child from parents is a really traumatic experience for the child. And it is said it has more trauma than actual COVID infection in the child. That's why parent is not separated from the child is small. Okay, child is big, old enough, then definitely. Now, one common mistake people do for home isolation, as soon as the father or mother is found to be positive for COVID, first thing they do is they send the children to the grandparents. I'm very, very sure you all will agree with me. First thing they do is send the child to the grandparents. सबसे पहले दो दादा को भेज दो, अलग करो. Now in this what happens, that father has come positive today, but for last 3-4 days when they were staying together with the kids, they have probably most likely transmitted the virus to the kids also. Now, even if kids are negative now, there is no guarantee that the kids don't have corona infection. And they may transmit to the most vulnerable people, that is the grandparents. And in that case, it will be really a disaster. So my humble request is, don't send your kids to the grandparents, because grandparents are most vulnerable to get affected, severely affected, requiring oxygen and hospitalization. Keep them with you, because COVID is much safer in kids than the grandparents. Now, what are the danger signs if someone is having COVID? And as I told you before, that breathing fast or oxygen level going down below 94%, or if child is lethargy, not eating at all, or child is dull, then these are the all dangerous signs. Then you should approach to hospital. Now, there is a lot of havoc about flu vaccine. Like people are asking, parents are asking whether we should give flu vaccine or not. Flu vaccine is in shortage in the market. It has been already hoarded by many people. So what to do with flu vaccine? Should I give my child a flu vaccine? I'm very, very sure all the parents will have this question. So I would tell you the fact in next 2-3 lines. Flu vaccine protect a child from flu illness. It does not protect from corona. But the flu comes in similar symptoms as corona, COVID. So if someone has taken flu vaccine and still develops symptoms, more likely he is having COVID infection. Children will be protected from flu infection. Hence, the burden on hospital will be lesser. So what is the bottom line? The bottom line is, if your child is having some problem, that is, he is having frequent cough, cold, or if he is having some other disease of the organ, something like heart disease, lung disease, liver disease, kidney disease, that he is susceptible basically, then you should have the flu vaccination in your child. For others who are having the normal kids, which are not getting sick frequently, for them it is not a compulsory vaccine. The one vaccine costs 2,000 rupees. If it is easily affordable to you, please take it. There is no harm. But it is not compulsory for otherwise normal kids. Now, many people have a question about routine vaccination. That should we defer the vaccination? Should we get the vaccination done? So answer is yes, you should get the vaccination done, because it is already now 1.5 years. We don't know how long it will last. And if someone has already undergone the COVID infection, something like some child or some adult, then they should wait for 2 weeks for getting the routine vaccination post COVID infection has subsided. The 2 weeks is the magic figure for that. Now, many people have a question about that whether we should get mask for our kids. So WHO says that less than 2-year-old kid, it is not safe to give them mask or put on mask. More than 2-year-old, younger kids, we should explain them and put on mask. Okay, so less than 2 year, no mask. More than 2 year, yes mask. What about the high-risk kids? So there are high-risk kids, something like those kids who are having some problem in the brain or heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease, digestion problems. They are high-risk kids. That means that if they get COVID, there are high chance of getting them severe COVID. So they should be protected more compared to the general kids. So now there is a lot of talks going about immunity boosting. Many parents ask me, sir, what can we give to boost the immunity so that they are protected from the COVID infection? So I want to tell you one very, very basic fact, very basic knowledge about the immunity, that we can't boost the immunity. We can just normalize the immunity. We cannot boost the immunity. Immunity cannot be boosted. We can normalize it. So there are main 4 pillars of immunity, and these are timely and adequate sleep, healthy diet, something called preventive diet. That means the diet which will protect you from not only COVID, but any cough, cold, flu infection. That means that you cannot have anything which is chilled, anything which is refrigerated or stall food, or you will have everything fresh, homemade food. This is called preventive diet. The food which is uh, local, cultural, and seasonal. That is called preventive food. Based on food which is available locally, accepted culturally, and available on that particular season. That is called preventive food. And that is called healthy diet, which prevents from any disease, including COVID. Third thing is regular activity or exercise. So it is recommended that 30 minutes of regular activity or exercise at least 5 days a week should be done to maintain the immunity. And the fourth thing is stress management and strong relationship, which actually maintain the immunity. So these are the main pillars of immunity. I would say that 90% contribution of maintaining immunity is by these 4 things rather medicines. But generally people ask only about medicine. So medicines are minor, and medicine, they consider immunity boosters, so-called immunity boosters. They help those who have otherwise health issues. Okay. And generally vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc and B complex, they are considered preventive medicine which will protect you from the COVID infection. So if someone has deficiency of these things, they should be given. And we don't know whether we have deficiency or not, then we should take these medicine if we have COVID infection. Now we talk about one bigger problem than the third wave of COVID. And now this is called psychosocial impact on kids because of COVID infection or because of COVID pandemic. Okay, now this is a silent pandemic. I sincerely want to draw the attention of all the parents to this particular aspect of problem. बच्चों में कोविड इन्फेक्शन तो सीवियर नहीं होता है बिकॉज ऑफ उनकी नेचुरल इम्यूनिटी, लेकिन साइकोसोशल इम्पैक्ट इज मच मोर इन किड्स कंपेयर टू एडल्ट्स. क्योंकि बड़े लोग तो बाहर जाते हैं, घूमते हैं, शॉपिंग करते हैं, लेकिन बच्चे तो हमेशा घर में ही रहते हैं. पेरेंट्स आर मोर प्रोटेक्टिव अबाउट किड्स, so they never allow kids to go out. So this is a big problem. Now आप लोग बोलेंगे सर इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम थोड़ी है. I would say 50% of the kids overall has some effect of pandemic as psychosocial effect. 50% kids. Out of this 50%, 30% are mild variety, 15% are moderate variety, and 5% are severe variety. Previously, as a pediatrician, I used to see one patient in 15 days who are having psychosocial problems. Now I see daily 1 to 2 patients which are having psychosocial effect because of corona pandemic, directly or indirectly. Now, this is really a big problem. I don't see so many patients of COVID pneumonia or COVID MIS-C, COVID infection requiring admissions, but I see so many patients which are having psychosocial problems because of corona pandemic. So please be attentive on this part of the talk. And I would really appreciate if you can take 5 points to apply in your practical life, to your kids, to yourself by this talk, then it will be successful on this talk. So why these psychosocial things are happening? Okay. So there are fears of losing a loved one. There are uncertainties how long this pandemic will last. And there are anxieties if someone is affected in the family. The children are missing out their friends. They are missing out their school. They have not been for outing for long. Many times there are violence at home. The father is stressed, mother is stressed, financial stress, the health crisis, and there are many times violence. And child sees कि पापा मम्मी को मार रहे हैं, torture कर रहे हैं, or sometimes violence to the kids only. The father is beating the kids. There is high level of screen exposure, and there is a disturbed sleep. That when nowadays the routine has already gone, the kids remain awake till late night watching the mobile phone, and they have all online classes, something like 3 to 4 hours. And apart from that, when they are getting bored at home, they want to get entertained, and that's why they are watching the mobile, playing the games, or watching the televisions or iPad. So there's high amount of screen, and this disturbs sleep. And this all news or media, they make sensation of every damn small news. आज इतना केस हुआ, आज इतना केस हुआ, यहाँ पे इतने लोग मरे, यहाँ पे कोविड बढ़ गया, यहाँ पे लॉकडाउन हो गया. Now all this negative news creates space in the brain, and it make you more fearful. I can definitely confidently say that I don't watch television for news. I have firm belief that if something very important is there in the news, it is bound to come to you. So please stop watching all the news channels which make unnecessary sensation. आपके देखने से और आपके न देखने से कोविड केस या कोविड डेथ न तो कम होने वाली है न बढ़ने वाली, but it is going to affect you negatively. Please don't watch any news channels. And there is a high level of parental stress. Something like कि grandfather, grandmother बीमार है, someone has died recently, financial loss चल रहा है, salary cut downs है, job loss हो गया है. They are staying home for a long time. So it is causing a lot of parental stress, and that is coming out on the kids also. They are also absorbing that stress of the parents. So now the next question comes, sir, you're talking about psychosocial thing. How to understand whether my child is having any psychosocial problem or not, or whether just sensation. So I will tell you 2 stories. There was a couple. The father, mother, both are working in a multinational company in the software, and they are working from the home. They have the kid at home. The grandparents are at village. Father, mother, both sit for the work at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Our child is actually roaming here and there. He's looking for attention of the father, of the mother. Both are busy. To mask that time deficit, the father, mother is trying to give them chocolates, some special toys, and most easy to allow them watching iPad, TV, or mobile. That is most easy thing to do. After some time, child get bored, and he is shouting, he is making noise, he is pulling father's pant that please give me time, please give me time, please give me time. And father, because of the duties, is not able to give time. So child become irritable. He is looking for attention. He's become clingy. Clingy means चिपकू. And he over demands screens. आपको काम करना है तो मुझे मोबाइल दो, वरना काम करने दूंगा नहीं मैं. And there are definitely violence at home. Many times this problem goes to such extent that it disturbs the sleep. जो बच्चा पहले रात को बेड पे सुसु नहीं करता था, stop passing urine in the bed, start again bed wetting. There are nightmare episodes. And if this problem goes for long, because they have not got sensory inputs, there is a language delay. I have seen personally in my clinic that I have seen 1.5 year, 2-year-old kid not speaking the enough words or sentences, which is actually normal for that age. And the reason is isolation or lockdown. They're not talking much. They're not getting sensory input from the friends, from the people, from the neighbors, from the parents. So they have language delay. And this is a really, really common problem. And the last thing is social isolation. Like many times I tell parents, आपका बच्चे का language delay है, and he's having all the symptoms of psychosocial. Please take your child out. तो वो बोलते हैं कि सर अभी तो उसको, if we ask them to go out, they say no, we don't want to go out. And that is called social isolation. Tomorrow school open and we want to send the children to school, but they will say no. So this is now all psychosocial impact happening to the kids. There are some short-term impact, there are some long-term impact, something like language delay, social isolation. They lose the social skill, how to make friends, how to talk to other people, how to avoid fights, which are the bad people, which are the good people. All these social skills, fine skills, they are losing because of the lockdown or complete home isolation. So now this is a younger child. I will tell you something about older child. I will tell you one story. Now this story, real story of one of my patient. Father was banker, mother is housewife. Father is busy. Child is something like 10-year-old girl. Now this girl is looking for father's attention. Father is not able to give. Father works late till night. The girl getting bored at home. उसका screen भी cut down कर दिया है, screen time. So slowly, the girl developed low mood, that is depression. That she used to become calm. ज़्यादा बोलती नहीं थी वो. And after some time, she developed panic attack. That means suddenly she will sweat, heart rate बढ़ जाएगा, वो घबराएगी, uneasy होगी, she will complain about chest pain or headache. And then father will come and he will take the child to the hospital. All tests will be normal. And this is happening at the home. So this is something called psychosocial impact on the older kids. Okay. So in younger children, people will talk a lot of things. Do this, don't do this. I will only give you 2 keys. If you have younger kids, something like less than 5-year-old kid at your home, there are 2 things. One is attention. Child wants not only time, but attention. जैसे कि आपको टाइम मिला और आप मोबाइल देख रहे हैं, टाइम तो दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उसको आप अटेंशन दे नहीं रहे हैं. तो अटेंशन इज द फर्स्ट की. सेकेंड इज कंसिस्टेंट डेली रूटीन. इसका मीनिंग ये होता है कि जैसे पहले कैसा था कि सुबह 7 बजे की स्कूल बस आती थी, तो बच्चा 6 बजे उठता था, नहा धो के दूध पी के स्कूल बस में बैठता था. 7 से 1 बजे स्कूल चलती थी, वापस आके खाना खा के सोता था, 4-5 बजे उठ के नीचे ग्राउंड में खेलने जाएगा, वापस आएगा, डिनर करेगा, they will have some talk, some chat, some screen, and then they will sleep. This was a consistent daily routine. Now that is lost, but that is very important. So today also we should behave 6 days a week at least as if we are the same as before. जब स्कूल खुले थे तभी उठने का टाइम, सुबह उठो, उठ के नहा धो के वॉक करके आओ, ब्रेकफास्ट लो, यू हैव योर ऑनलाइन स्कूल अटेंड करो, उसके बाद में लंच, स्लीप, अगेन गोइंग टू द ग्राउंड, डिनर, talking to each other and sleeping. So this consistent daily routine should be maintained. Generally it is broken that their children are sleeping late, getting awake late, and बच्चे क्या होता है बिना नहाए धोए क्लास में बैठ जाते हैं, and this is the way things goes on, but this doesn't help them. This attention and consistent daily routine will help a lot of parents to deal with the kids. Now in older kids, I told you, they have irritability, boredom, loneliness, sometimes depression, anxiety, and sometimes those psychosocial stress come as some symptom, like घर में टेंशन का माहौल है, ग्रैंडमदर ग्रैंडफादर बीमार हो गए, ग्रैंडमदर मर गई है, फादर इज इन टेंशन बिकॉज ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस, न्यूज में चल रहा है कोरोना 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 का थर्ड वेव. So that much of stress child is not able to handle, and that stress come out as पेट में दुखता है, या चेस्ट पेन हो रहा है, या हेडेक हो रहा है, उल्टी जैसा लग रहा है. That is called conversion और psychosomatic symptom बोलते हैं इसको. So this happens in kids. I am seeing daily. Today I have seen 2 patients of this psychosomatic symptoms. Okay, and if these psychosomatic symptoms goes higher, then there is a change in sleep, interest pattern. पहले उसको पेंटिंग करना अच्छा लगता था, अभी अच्छा नहीं लगता है. पहले दोस्तों से बात करना अच्छा लगता था, अब बात नहीं करता है. उनका एपेटाइट चेंज हो जाता है. And many times it goes to OCD, something called obsessive compulsive disorder. कि बच्चा जो दिन भर खाली बैठे बैठे हाथ धोता रहता है, दिन में 5 बार 7 बार वो हाथ धो के आता है, सैनिटाइजर लगाता रहता है खाली बैठे बैठे. That is like they feel कि my hands are getting dirty and they just start cleaning. So this is goes like unnecessarily. That is called obsessive compulsive disorder. And many times they have just freaking out. So suddenly they start shouting on the parents, they start fighting on the parents. So this happens to older kids. And I would tell you again 2 keys for them. That is communication. Please talk to your child. Ask what are his anxieties or his fears. Give him some knowledge about the disease, about the plans. Just talk to them. This will decrease 50% of the tension. Second is parents as role model. That means the father should behave in such a way that gives confidence and positivity to the family. Something like how my father have dealt when my grandmother was sick, or when my grandfather died, or when there was a problem in the family about finances. So this is like becoming role model. If we deal these challenges well, the kids also see us and they also feel secure and safe. If we are getting tense, if we are behaving abnormally because of these problems, then kids also get that vibration and it goes inside and come in very bad or distorted way, something called psychosocial problems, which all I mentioned here. So there are few general tips about managing kid in this COVID pandemic and avoiding psychosocial problems. The first tip is please go out. go for a nature walk, go for just walk in the road, just go, फूल देखो, पत्ती देखो, चिड़िया देखो, आसमान देखो, बादल देखो, पत्थर देखो, but just go out and see. You may not go in the crowded timing, crowded place. You may go on odd timing, दोपहर को 4 बजे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Early in the morning, 6 o'clock, very less people are there on the road and the parks. You don't need to mix with people or play with them, but you can just have walk and come back. So please go out. I would tell you 50% problems of irritability, clinginess, boredom, loneliness, or those problems जिनका कोई कारण नहीं, that will go out if you go out. So this is a very important message I want to give you, all my parents and all my patients. Please go out. कोरोना हवा से नहीं फैलता है, कोरोना किसी पेशेंट के कॉन्टेक्ट से फैलता है. Next thing is quality family time. That means we all are having dinner together glued to mobile. Nah. That means we are having dinner and talking to each other, asking the well-being of each other. And limit screen time. आपका बच्चा 2 साल से छोटा है, अवॉइड मोबाइल. 2 साल से 5 साल तक का है, ऑनलाइन क्लास के अलावा आधे से 1 घंटा दे सकते हैं. 5 साल से बड़ा है, 1 से 1.5 घंटा दे सकते हैं. तो लिमिट द स्क्रीन टाइम. नाउ स्क्रीन टाइम इंक्लूड्स मोबाइल, लैपटॉप, आईपैड, टीवी, ऑल टुगेदर. ऑनलाइन क्लास तो कंपलसरी है, बट उसके अलावा जो स्क्रीन टाइम की नीड है वो लिमिट करना चाहिए. डेली स्पिरिचुअलिटी, प्रेयर्स और मेडिटेशन. नाउ दीस रियली हेल्प. स्पिरिचुअलिटी, प्रेयर्स, मेडिटेशन, ये आपके लाइफ में जो मोड ऑफ गुडनेस है वो लाते हैं. ऑटोमेटिक आप टाइम पे सोते हैं, टाइम पे उठते हैं, टाइम पे खाते हैं, तो ऑटोमेटिकली लाइफ बिकम रेगुलर और डिसिप्लिन्ड. They bring down your stress level and they increase your immunity. So it is said, those family who pray together, they grow together. So please spend time, especially if you are having this high stress level, it is affecting your work, your behavior with your family members. Please spend time doing prayers or meditation. All family members should come together at least once a day and do the puja or aarti. This simple habit can actually help them in crisis. And definitely, no news channel, please. It doesn't make any sense. Whenever you have problem, you can always teleconsult with doctors. Teleconsultation is the new thing, and it is really helping people. You don't need to postpone your health problems. Just teleconsult. So the final message I want to give is the third wave is coming, but not as big and not just for kids. Be ready, be prepared, but not scared. Good care means not just survived. Good care means not just survived, but keeping a healthy body, mind, and soul. So if some family has maintained the strictness, avoid COVID symptoms, but they have got bonkers or develop symptoms because of that, then it is not good care. They should maintain the body health, but also mind and the soul. That is called holistic care. Thank you very much for all the parents and all the viewers here for spending time with us. Now we can take few questions if you have. Yatin will facilitate for the same.
Yes, so thank you very much for such a good information. Now we can move ahead to our next session, that is a question and answer session. session. If anyone have any questions, they can please ask the question. I think we have something on our chat.
Okay.
Shioni has written that did children give influenza and typhoid vaccine? So she want to ask whether we should give the children the influenza and typhoid vaccine.
So I already answered in the few
Yeah.
common queries.
Yeah.
Flu vaccine is not compulsory for kids. It doesn't protect from the COVID. But those kids who are having some health problems, that they have often coke of cold, or they have some illness, kidney, heart, lung, brain, they should get the flu vaccine. For remaining, it is not compulsory. If they can easily afford, or if they can easily get it. Otherwise, it's okay. And about
Hello.
typhoid vaccine, definitely they should get it. There is no question about it.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Manoj. Yes.
Hello.
Go ahead with your question.
हेलो.
Yes, I can hear you.
हाँ सर, ये जो वैक्सीन है कोविड वैक्सीन, तो G6PD पर्सन को भी दे सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ, दे सकते हैं, कोई कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशन नहीं है.
कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं ना?
नहीं.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर.
Okay. There is one more question which is asked by Martin. That yes, my doctor is 2.8 years old and he is talking, but still certain words are unclear. As you told that there will be a language delay. So she has asked what to do in such cases.
So this is
So it is
exactly,
not
madam, what I have told. This is happening. Language delay, social isolation, and loss of social skills. Okay. Now, no medicine can work here, man. No medicine. You have to take your child. The ideal advice would be go to play school. But now play schools are all stopped. They're not working. So we have to take a child out. Show them the nature. People. They can definitely talk on phone through video chat to other family members or similar age kids. They have to go out. So these things are bound to happen. And the solution is we want physical distancing. We don't want social distancing. This is a myth. Socially, we want to be connected. Physically, we want to be distanced. So that is the way of doing it. I've already explained in my talk also.
Yes. Any other questions from our audience? Okay, so no more questions. बच्चों को वैक्सीन कब आने वाला है? One more question. बच्चों को
By
वैक्सीन
this
कब आने वाला है?
November, December, it will be in the market.
Okay. Thank you very much. So
Thank you.
I think Prabhuji, we have done for today's our session. If anyone has any questions, they can ask right now.
Thank you very much, Yatin Prabhu, for
Yes.
hosting and arranging for a nice talk for the benefit of people in general. I hope that if people have any questions, they can connect to you.
Yeah, they can certainly connect to us on our Facebook page. They can message us on our Facebook page, or else we have our website. On that, we have our chatbot. From there also, they can connect with us. Currently, we have various options to connect us. You can call us, and also for just an information for you that we have just now launched a new application, a mobile application, which is Asan version 2.0, from where you can take in appointments and also you can make payments online. And one of the important feature of this app is you can have online video consultation with the doctors. So you don't need to come to the hospital. You can have online consultations with our hospitals, with our consultants, so they can help you if you have any kinds of query. So thank you very much, Dr. Sandeep. It was really a good session, And I will like to inform everybody, those who have attended